Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Inside the Mind, where we talk about online marketing strategy, what it is, why it's important, and why you should care. In the last episode, we talked about strategic networking and a simple way to start finding communities with your prospective customers. This week, we're going to talk about key performance indicators and how to create a simple dashboard so you can measure progress and determine success.
Wait, why talk about this? Metrics are boring. Can't I just try a bunch of stuff and wait for something good to happen?
Of course you could, and plenty of people do. But when you're looking back at your stats 6 months from now, how are you going to be able to tell what was going on at the time to make yourself successful? And how are you going to know what stuff was wasting your time? The reason for setting up key performance indicators is to have certain measures and goals within certain time frames. When you break down your efforts using key performance indicators, you can easily determine which of your efforts are yielding results and what's holding you back. Now, what we're going to be going over today is just a basic view of key performance indicators. There are really hundreds of ways that you can get these set up, but this is a good place for you to get started. First things first, before you set up key performance indicators, you need to have a defined goal. Pick one. Have a specific target in mind you want to achieve and set a time frame. That could mean more traffic, more sales, what have you. And you need to have a specific set of actions in mind to help you move those numbers. Without a specific set of actions, you're just measuring for measuring's sake. For example, actions for traffic building could include guest posting on blogs, employ a link building strategy, power digging, power stumbling, submit to article directories, host a teleseminar, and so on. Now with that in mind, there are 3 types of performance indicators.
Activating TommyTron 3000.
The first is raw numbers. This can be number of traffic, number of ebooks, number of mentions on other blogs, that type of thing. The next type of measure is progress. This comes in the form of percent complete. If you want to attain a certain amount of traffic or sell a certain number of ebooks, this is where you track the percentage of progress towards that goal. And the last measure is percentage of change. This is a directional measure. As an example, increase in sales over the last week, last month, or last year. And now that you have that set up, let's dive a little deeper into some of the other things you need to think about when you're setting up your measures. Once you've determined what the measure actually is, you need to determine your source. And ask yourself, do you already have the information, or is this new data that you need to collect? So for your source for raw numbers, it might be something like Google Analytics. On progress, it might be your content strategy. And for percentage of change, it might be your profit and loss report. It's really important to know where your data is coming from so you know month over month what it is that you're actually calculating. Frequency. This is where you determine how often you're measuring certain goals. With something like traffic for the year, you could track your visitors weekly or even monthly. With progress, you could track quarterly, and with percentage of change, you could track monthly. So to recap, we're looking at what we're measuring, where we're getting the data, and how often we're measuring it. And the last item that goes along with key performance indicators is the target. What are we trying to achieve? After we have all the data, all that's left to do is graph it. With something like traffic, we could display the information in a bar graph. With our goals, I'm a big fan of using a thermometer to track the percentage of completion. And with percentage of change, it's always best to show that data with a line graph. And once you reach your goals, you can say,
it's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Way yeah, way yeah, way yeah, way yeah. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter.
Now when you're using this basic dashboard, make sure you have a very specific set of controls. In the end, you want to be able to say, I did X, Y, and Z and got these results. And if you're using additional tactics that you're not measuring, your results can become skewed, leaving you with an inaccurate picture of how effective a particular strategy was working. If you want to test different strategies against each other, set up multiple dashboards and see which methods are more effective to reach your goal. Because when you know what works, you can increase your efforts in that area to improve performance. Then learn ways to systematize the process and keep it going while you start improving in other areas. Alright, that's all I got for today's episode. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter. Please be sure to like this video and favorite it for easy viewing. If you have a question, please leave a video response or ask in the comments below. And subscribe if you'd like to know when the next video comes out.
Click the button.